Football season is finally back, but I'm not talking about soccer. I'm talking about American football, the National Football League, the most popular sports league in the United States. And here I am in Guimarães, Portugal, wearing the shirt of my favorite American football team, the New York Giants. And this morning, I went throughout the city. I'm in a park right now, but I went throughout the city, and I was just curious to see if I could find anyone else wearing an NFL jersey on the morning of the season's first Sunday. Most of the games are played on a Sunday, and I couldn't. So here I am now. It's in the afternoon, and I have a question for you. Does wearing this in Portugal make me a guiri? My name is Howie. This is Positively Portugal. Let's get into it. I know what this shirt is. I know what team it represents. I know what sport that team plays. I know what league that team plays in. It's interesting to me how I would say maybe 20% of the population in Guimarães, I can't make a blanket statement all of Portugal, but I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say 1 out of 5 people here own something representing the New York Yankees, the baseball team, the most famous sports team in the United States. You see that dark navy blue hat with the white interlocking NY, and I myself have worn that in a couple of videos, but that's my home team, and not just my home team, like the city of New York, like that's my exact area where I'm from. I'm from the Bronx, where the Yankees are from. And I would say that absolutely nobody in this city, probably in the country as a whole, know what the New York Yankees are. They don't know what sport they play. It's a fashion statement. So I might be in Portugal, but I at least know what I'm representing. So who is the guiri? Is it me, or is it the actual residents of Portugal? I don't know if guiri is a real word. It's more like an insult. You're not going to be able to open an English dictionary and find the word shithead. Guiri's a little different. It's used not just in Portugal, it's also used in Spain. I'm sure it's used in other places. And by pseudo definition, guiri is not a way of dressing. It's a behavior. It's a way that you act. In my opinion, if you wear something and you don't know what you're wearing, you don't know what it represents, at least to me, that's a behavior. That's a way of acting. And in my mind, that would make somebody a guiri. So why am I talking about this? Well, for the first time in more than 9 months, yesterday I came across 2 people who treated me as if I was a guiri. One day last week, I was walking up my block, and I ran into a good friend of mine who was sitting at a cafe that's on my street. And he was sitting with a couple of his friends. One of them was visibly intoxicated or maybe strung out on some substance. And he's talking to me, and he's just all over the place. He's kind of like shifty and fidgety and smiling. And you know what? I don't have any patience for people like that. I'm just too old. I've dealt with too many lowlifes like that, and I didn't really think at the time that the guy was a lowlife. I thought maybe he was just partaking in something that maybe he shouldn't have, or partook in something that he took too much of. But I found out yesterday that that guy really is a lowlife. Not my friend, my friend's friend. So before the Portugal versus Armenia game that Portugal won 5-0, I was going to my favorite bar in the city, Prost, which, by the way, is the best bar in Guimarães. they do not pay me to say that, and even if they tried to, I would not accept their money. If you're going to go to Guimarães, make sure you go to Prost. But I got derailed or detoured when this guy who I met a few days ago sees me and it tracks me down, and he brings me to this other bar to have a drink with him. I figured, all right, I got some time before the game. I'll deal with him. And I did have a couple of super bucks at home, so I felt like I was actually able to deal with this person. So I get to the other bar, and he introduces me to one of his friends. And this person is an old guy. He's a senior citizen. He's just sitting outside of the bar, and the guy says to me in Portuguese he doesn't have any money. And this old guy asks if I could buy him a drink. And he's like backed up by this intoxicated or strung out person who I met a few days ago. And he asks if I can buy him a drink. And at this point, I'm like angry with myself, because it's like, what the hell did I just get myself into? Maybe I should have seen that coming. And yeah, I was annoyed that I was going to spend money on these two, because look, it's not about the money. It's a matter of respect. If you're a friend of mine, I'll buy you a drink. You know, I want to hang out with you. If I met you 3 days ago, or if I'm meeting you right now, I really don't want to buy you a drink. So whatever, it's a matter of a few euros, and I pretended that, well, I mean, I didn't pretend. I really didn't care, but I pretended like I didn't care as well. If that makes sense, it probably doesn't. I just, bringing up this story kind of annoys me, so maybe I'm a little bit all over the place with it. It was the first time that I ever felt like I was using my wallet as a flex in Portugal. And I made it clear to the two of them that, hey, I didn't care. It was just a drink. And in many ways, it was just a drink. But again, if I just met you, I'm really not willing to spend any kind of money on you if I just met you. So I knew right away that these two saw me as a guiri. They knew I was American. The first guy knew that 3 days prior when I first met him. And I knew he was sitting outside with this old guy, and he said to the old guy, "Hey, there's the American. We can get a drink out of this guy," and they did. And I'm wearing a Portugal soccer jersey or football shirt. I feel like I always have to go back and forth with the different terminologies depending on what country uses what phrase. And he's talking to me in Portuguese, and I think he's asking me how much I paid for my shirt. I said, I don't know, maybe $20 or $25, because I got it back in the United States on eBay. Turns out he wasn't asking me that. He was saying to me that he wanted to sell me some of his football shirts for, well, I made the mistake of saying 20 or 25 euros, but he wanted to get more out of me, this time in the form of money. After I had bought him a drink, when, I don't even know you. And I don't want to know you. You're very intoxicated or strung out on some illegal substance. I just don't want to know you. And finally, the bartender was nice enough to translate. She spoke perfect English. And she says to me, no, he's trying to sell you something. I said, sell me something? I don't even know the guy. I just met him. And he already asked me to buy him a drink, along with this old guy. And if you're some old guy, you've been around the block more than a few times, you're sitting outside of a bar without money? What are you doing? If I don't have money, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to stay home. I think the guy did have money, but hey, in his mind, there's the American. He's obviously a guiri. Well, yeah, not so much. I don't consider myself a guiri, even though I'm wearing this New York Giants shirt. Yeah, my Portuguese still sucks. The gains I've made in Portuguese, I would say a little bit more than minimal. Maybe I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I don't know. But out of respect, I still never, ever, ever start a conversation with somebody in Portugal that is not in Portuguese. I'll do what I can. I'll piece it together. I'll figure it out. And even though I barely speak Portuguese, I still don't ask if you speak English. And there are other ways you can be a guiri. You could be walking around a place you're visiting, talking as loud as I'm making this video about the most boring and mundane bullshit, the small talk. And that's how people in other countries can spot Americans. You can look like you're dressed in sort of a safari outfit while you're touring tourist destinations wherever you are, and that's how I can spot a British person. But regardless of who or what you are, guiri or not, you treat everybody with respect. And it made me realize that these two guys, they don't respect me. Maybe they're angry with tourists. Maybe they're angry with foreigners who moved to Portugal. Maybe they feel like they're getting priced out or they got priced out of somewhere else. Guess what? I'm from New York. I got priced out long before you ever did. So, yeah, the bottom line is you treat everybody with respect. If you want more videos about moving to Portugal, the process of getting here, Portuguese football, anything Portugal related, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. These are the best things you can do to help a content creator on YouTube. I want to thank you all for watching, and let's go Giants!